Nothing in this podcast is meant for medical advice. Please discuss your own healthcare with your healthcare providers. Thank you. Welcome to your B-side, your midlife metamorphosis. I'm your host, Dr. Amy Lindsey. Midlife is not a crisis, it's a catalyst to your best life. Join me each week for a dose of mental, physical, and spiritual health, life, grief, adventure, and opportunity. It's time to flip the record over. Welcome to your B-side, your midlife metamorphosis. I'm your host, Dr. Amy Lindsey. And today, I can't wait to introduce you to a friend and a client of mine, Erin Hauk, who has joined my Chrysalis program just this year. And I couldn't wait to have her on because here's somebody who was right at the crux of a lot of changes in her life. She had career changes going on, health changes going on. She was working on some things in many relationships in her life. And she joined the Chrysalis program and just has grabbed this thing by the ass. And she's currently the program manager at Puget Sound Energy, but she has been working in project and program management for over 2 decades. Welcome to your B-side, Erin Hauk.
My B-side's going really well so far. I'm going to be honest.
Awesome. So I wanted to have you on the podcast because you're such a shining star example of someone who's come into my programs and just has kicked ass from the get-go. And I personally think, it was a bit of a recipe of readiness, but also self-trust. I feel like you just had a lot of balls in the air you were juggling, a lot going on in your life in this sort of midlife metamorphosis and transition, and you've grabbed the program and you've just used it up to all the benefit it could possibly give you. So I want to ask you, first, why did you join the Chrysalis? And then just kind of freeform, talk about how it's going so far and how has it transformed your life and your health?
I was in a transitional phase. That's the best way to put it. I had kind of reached that point where there were all these things that I didn't want to tolerate anymore. I knew there was more out there. I wanted more, and I wanted to be feeling in alignment with myself. It's almost like, when you're trying to tune in the radio and you keep getting stuck between stations and you get it for a second and something's really clear, but you have to keep working on it. I had just graduated college after going back to school. I knew that the career that I was in, it was slowly killing me, essentially. I was so stressed. I was so unhealthy. I was prioritizing so many things that weren't in alignment with me. I had been taking baby steps for a couple of years, but after graduation, as I was looking around trying to find what is the thing that helps me get in alignment with my truest self, Chrysalis ended up being it. I knew that there were things that I wanted, and I knew that there were things that I could be. I knew life could be different, but I don't think I trusted myself enough to recognize what those things were. And I know for sure that my vessel, right? My body wasn't in alignment in a way that it needed to be for me to be able to do the things I wanted to do. I was frustrated with sort of a lack of strength that I had. I was frustrated with not achieving some of my goals, and I felt frustrated and stuck because I had made choices that put me in a place where I was prioritizing service to others instead of service to the world by taking care of myself and letting me be my best version of myself.
Okay, you just hit on something I really want to talk about and go further. I didn't know we were going to talk about this, but you nailed it. So a lot of what we talk about in Chrysalis, so this program is for people who want to be change makers, people who want to be of service in the world, people who want the world and the people in the world to have and be and do the best versions of themselves, to essentially be who they're supposed to be in this life. And it starts with us individually, right? And that if we're not in alignment with our soul's purpose, if you want to call it that, if we're not in alignment with our health, if we're not taking care of ourselves so that we can fulfill on that purpose or on how we're going to be of service to the world, then like the whole world is then sick and
Yeah.
depleted. And I love the distinction you made, that you were saying you were choosing other people over yourself, but there's this line here that's not being of service
Yeah.
to people, right? It's self-betrayal. And then once we flip the record over to our B-side and we're no longer on, by the way, B-side is no longer about self-betrayal, and we're taking care of ourselves and we're in alignment with ourselves, we actually can truly be of service in the
Absolutely.
world.
There's
So let's talk about that a
so
little
many
bit.
people have so much to give, right? And we have desires and purposes and drives to make the world be a better place. Well, you can't do that if you're not taking care of yourself, right? Put your own oxygen mask on first. And I think Chrysalis specifically gave me tools and a path to consider differently what was I in control of and how do the choices I
Mm,
make align with what I want to be doing. So for me, it was really the unlock, like the world exploder was the idea that all of this is in my control. I'm choosing what I want to do. And, a lifetime of people pleasing and all the things that I thought were worth more than me, I needed to explore and experience and evaluate new ways of thinking about how I move through the world in order to land on what's important to me. Like, what is important to me and what is it that I want to be doing? And then once I kind of found that lodestone through some of the reading and some of the work and the journaling and the exploration, and once I had practiced developing the intuition and the self-trust to know that, like, oh yeah, that's a real thing. That feeling of joy, that feeling of like radiating delight, that's a real thing and you get to trust that. Like, it's okay to trust that. That helped me change the way I was looking at what I was doing. That helped me change my prioritization. And that helped me start choosing things that have been in service of me fulfilling my best health, fulfilling, moving through the world in a way that allows generosity, that allows gratitude, that allows me to be of service to other people in a way that I couldn't before.
Hey, this is Dr. Amy Lindsey, your host of Welcome to Your B-Side, your midlife metamorphosis YouTube channel and podcast. If you want to be more involved with my B-Side community, you can join on School. That's SKOOL. You can join my school community. Look me up, Dr. Amy Lindsey. Welcome to Your B-Side, and request to join. So, how has your life changed? Like, what are some of if you're willing to share, you decide what you're willing to share. What has changed for you specifically?
Well, so the high level is everything, but on a more tactical level, I'll start with career. After getting my degree, I knew I wanted to be working in a sustainability realm. I knew that there were things I wanted to learn about policy. And I felt like, I felt like because I have to work, it's critical to my family and to my well being and to be able to do the things I want to do, I have to work. So, what is the work that I can do that is also in service of a better future? Had an opportunity come up where I could leave my job and the company that I'd been with and stayed really open to the idea that I want to manifest a role where I can be delivering my best self, a role where I am learning, but I'm also able to like positively affect change. And a friend emailed me a link to a role that was posted. It was like, oh, I think this is really interesting. You should check it out. I applied for it, I interviewed for it, and I got it. And I had kind of taken a leap of faith when I chose to leave my old job without having a solidly locked next step. I took a leap of faith that the right thing would be out there and that I would be able to do the work and be able to get it. And lo and behold, I did. I didn't have a job. It was 3.5 weeks from when I left my old company to when I had an offer for the new company. And I am so grateful that I was able to trust that something was out there, but it's a combination of like trusting and doing the work. I didn't stop
Mhm.
doing the work and my diligence and my practice. So that was amazing. From a health perspective, being able to get really crystal clear on having bigger problems to solve, being able to be healthy enough and have the mobility and strength to have adventures was really, really important to me. And walking the Camino is a massive goal. The idea that my body needs to be able to do this heavy physical activity day after day after day after day. It's essentially like walking half marathons 7 days in a row. I can't cheat on that. I can't half-ass on that. I have to be all in on doing that. If I don't, I'm letting myself and other people down. I'm hurting myself. I'm making it worse. So, that has allowed me to join a strength training program. My body is able to handle levels of activity that I haven't been able to handle in years. And it feels good doing it. It feels great. It feels freeing. It's exciting. It's exhilarating. So my health has leveled up. And then my relationships, I stopped tolerating a lot. I found the self trust to understand that I was important and that the way I make choices and the way I move through the world and the things I do to support my ability to live those dreams and goals is role modeling for my family, right? It's role modeling for all the people around me. And what a great opportunity to like live my values out loud and show other people that it's possible and encourage other people to not accept mediocrity. Don't tolerate bullshit. Like, you are worth so much more. You can do so much more than you think you can. The only thing that's stopping you is you.
I love all this. I'm just like, I'm so proud of you and I'm so happy for you. And I want to touch on something you just said about your relationships because I think this is a huge unlock. I love that word that you've been using, this unlock for your health, this unlock for your career, unlock for you personally is that, and we touched on it a second ago, but when you stop this kind of people pleasing pattern or this doing for others too much at the expense of yourself, you're actually, and this is something we talk about in Chrysalis, that you're not only causing harm to
Hmm.
yourself, you're causing harm to those people. I'm going to say that again. You're not just causing harm to yourself, and it's not just about self betrayal, but you are causing harm to those other people. And here's why, because you're not trusting them that they can develop independence, that they can develop their own sense of purpose, that they can develop their own self alignment to their own goals, needs, desires, and that they can have the strength and ability to then trust themselves to solve their own
Yeah.
problems.
Yeah, especially as a parent, if you think about the humans that you're raising who are going to go out into the world and interact with other humans and do things and build things and be things and maybe even have other humans someday, you owe it to yourself and to them to be able to let them make their own mistakes and learn things. Like, you can be a role model, you can be an example, and you got to get out of the way. You got to get out of the way of them. You got to let
Mhm.
them figure out their own way, which has been a massive change in the way I've looked at things. But it's also really helped me find some peace and some calm and some space to be able to reprioritize myself and find a different path forward.
Yeah. So thank you so much for being on the podcast. What would you, I just have one question for you. What would you say to someone who is thinking about applying for the Chrysalis program or joining the Chrysalis program? What would you say to someone who's on the fence? who might feel scared or might feel like it's a big investment, or they're scared of their own brilliance maybe. What would you
I would
say to
say you're
them?
worth it. Like, you are worth it. Your life is worth it. Your future, what you have to give to the world, all the things that are inside of you, it's worth it for you to take the step and unlock it. Like, your future is worth it.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing yourself so generously and coming on the podcast. And I honestly, I'm just like right up at the edge watching this. And I can't wait to see what you do next. And I can't wait to walk the Camino with you in the
I'm so
spring.
excited.
Thank you so much, Erin. And I will see you soon.
See you soon.
Thank you for listening to Welcome to the B-Side, your midlife metamorphosis, with me, your host, Dr. Amy Lindsey. If you're interested in the Chrysalis program, you can see the links below the YouTubes, Apple and Spotify podcast show notes, or on my social media. You can get on my wait list and start that process. Thanks for listening. Ciao. This has been another episode of Welcome to Your B-Side, your midlife metamorphosis with Dr. Amy Lindsey. Be sure to follow along and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time.